Is anyone out there?
Another salesperson enduring the endless search. Exhausting. If you want to get right to the right conversations, you need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Whether you're looking for new leads or strengthening existing relationships at your top accounts, get right to the right conversations with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Try LinkedIn Sales Navigator now with a free 60-day trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial.
Terms and conditions apply!
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
It was a ring. It was a cubic zirconia ring.
Yes.
Okay.
It tended.
Are you married?
Yes.
Okay. Did your wife, then fiance, know you were buying her a cubic zirconia?
We agreed to it as a placeholder until we could
That's
get
fine.
the real thing.
I just want to make sure she knows.
Yes, she knows.
This is the plaintiff, Bhupendra Kapadia. He says the plaintiff bought a ring from him for his wife, and then out of the blue, he gets the ring back in the mail with a note saying it didn't work out, and he wants to return it. Then the sneak reversed payment on his credit card. Huh? The guy owes him $2,362.32, and he wants every penny of it here and now. This is the defendant, Sean Dunn. He says he bought a ring for his wife, but wasn't satisfied with the quality of it, so he returned it. He was well within the stated 30-day money-back guarantee, has no idea why the plaintiff thinks he still owes him money, and he thinks the judge will wholeheartedly agree. He's accused of ringing up a lawsuit.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Elite Jewelry, represented here by the owner, Bhupendra Kapadia. Okay.
Yes,
you are suing Sean Dunn for $2,362.32 that you say you are out as a result of him reversing the charges on a ring that he returned, that according to you, he had no right to return at that point. Okay. Tell me what happened.
We manufacture jewelry and we sell via, we have our own website, and also we sell via third party like eBay, Amazon, Sears, everybody. We received the order from a customer, who is him, and Amazon sent us the order, and he placed the order for an eternity ring, which I have it here.
All right, let me see it. It was a ring, it was a cubic zirconia ring.
Yes.
Okay.
Eternity.
Are you married?
Yes.
Okay. Did your wife, then fiance, know you were buying her a cubic zirconia?
We agreed to it as a placeholder until we could
That's
get
fine.
the real thing.
I just want to make sure she knows.
Yes, she knows.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's very beautiful. This is a size what?
This is size 8.
Okay.
Now, when we received the order, Amazon did not send us the ring size. So I contacted the customer. I said, sir, what ring you want? Okay. He sent me email. I want a ring size 8.
Let me see that email. Okay. So, hi, Sean. Thanks for the reply. Our return policy is 30 days as long as the ring is not being used. And this was a response to your message. Looks like we'd need a size 8. Is
Correct.
it still possible for Friday delivery? What is your return policy? So what do you do?
I made a ring size 8.
And what happens?
He came, he picked it up. He loved the ring. And then I don't know exactly the date, but within a day or two, he sent me another email, which is, if you go further on my email, you will see it. Oh, it's my mistake. I'm sorry. It's a wrong size.
I did not say it was my mistake. I said it may be my mistake. I ordered.
Oh, maybe, yes.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
What a-
Calm
what
down.
an
I know you're
excuse.
mad, but you need to take a chill pill. Hold on, okay?
I ordered a size 8. That's correct. My wife is a size 8. And I have a proof. I have a receipt of a ring I recently purchased for her.
Okay.
When it was a surprise for our wedding anniversary. We went out to dinner that Saturday night. I gave it to her, and it didn't fit. So
Okay.
I emailed the plaintiff and asked
said,
him,
you need what?
I asked him would it be possible to get it altered
To
fit
what?
to the correct size,
Which is what?
which is an 8, but
Okay.
it didn't fit her.
Okay, so what did you say? I want a 6?
I said, well, he offered for me to bring in the real diamond ring, real wedding band,
Right.
and he was going to match it, which we did.
And that's a what?
6 enough.
6.5. Can I see the real diamond?
We exchanged that on our wedding day 8 years ago. So this was a matching one, so she could have some more bling on her finger.
Oh, just to put them side by side?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have that stick, that cone?
I didn't bring it, but I
Why
made-
not?
Sorry.
I don't have one of those lying around.
But I have the ring here, matching, which I made it for him 6.5.
Yeah, but I want to know if this is an 8 and a 6.5, or if this is clearly. I need to know that the original one. It's become like imperative, because if your 8 isn't really an 8, then it's your fault. But if your 8 is really an 8, then we got a clock ticking from a date you don't want me to tick it from.
Your Honor, here is a ring size 8 I send him. Oh, and then he says, well, it's my mistake. Can you make me ring size 6?
Wait, where does he say it's my mistake?
Yes, maybe it's my mistake. That's what he says.
Okay, hold on. Okay, then on October 6th, it appears that the ring is too big, puts it in 500-point font. Ring is too big, which may be my fault. Is it possible to bring in her real diamond ring, have you size, and have you alter? Nothing to worry about. This only problem is attorney bank cannot be resized at all, so we have to make another new ring. We will do that, no charge. Let's do everything right this time. Please bring any ring which fits perfectly. I will measure it. We'll make a new ring. All right, now, show me the ring. This is the ring that you sent him in the size 6.5.
Exactly whatever the size he approved of it.
So now, you send him the size 6.5, or he picks it up, right?
Yes, he picks it up.
He looks at it.
Yes.
He doesn't say, this is garbage.
No, he loved it.
So what happened?
You know, I brought it home to my wife, and she just wasn't blown away with it. So I told her.
But it's exactly like the other ring, but smaller and fitting perfectly. There's no difference in the quality between these two rings. So what really happened? Did you find it cheaper somewhere? Or?
I did not find it cheaper. She didn't like it. I asked her to give me a couple of days to like sleep on it because we had gone through so much with this, and she decided that she didn't want it.
Okay. And now you have a 30-day guarantee on the ring.
Yes.
So why would it be fair to have the 30 days run from when you picked up the resized ring that he was nice enough to resize, as opposed to earlier from when you got a ring that comported completely with filling in your order for a size 8? Everything that happens after your order for a size 8 was kind of your mess up and him on the fly, if this is legitimately an 8, which I'm about to find out because apparently there's an app for that. Who knew? That's not, I don't think this is the best way, but okay. It's an 8. And the resized CZ ring is a size 6.5. All right. First thing I'm going to do is hand you back your wife's ring because the whole thing's making me nervous. Now, you end up fighting the charges with your credit card company.
Correct.
You end up getting bad feedback on your Amazon account.
Okay. What he did, very nice.
He didn't go to you, he went to Amazon.
He did a very nice game playing he did. All of a sudden, I received a package from him saying that I am requesting a full refund for this ring. Unfortunately, still does not fit properly. I will definitely be coming to you in future for any jewelry need. Unfortunately, this ring just did not work out for us. Where is my fault? Where is my fault? I appreciate all of your help with this. I bent down. I make him a ring 2 times.
Okay, don't repeat yourself.
Oh my
so you
God.
get the ring just mailed back to you?
That's it.
And then?
Next day, he filed they call A to Z claim with the Amazon. Now, when they file the A to Z claim, on an average, Amazon stop my advertising because they think I am a rotten supplier.
They think you're rotten.
Yeah. So Amazon asked me, why this guy filed A to Z claim? Did you deliver the ring? What you did? What? I submitted him all the answers that yes, I did my part completely. Okay. So I answered the Amazon. Amazon has their department. They look at his side.
They look at your side and they ruled for you.
And they ruled in my favor.
Okay, and then what he did was he went to his credit card company and disputed the charge. Let me see the letter you sent to your credit card company.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have that.
You don't have it. What did you say to them?
I gave a timeline breakdown and
okay, but I'm confused because you're telling me that the quality is not good, even though the quality is exactly like the other one you were sent. But you're telling him in this cover letter when you mail it back to him that the size isn't right, even though I am comparing it to the size of your wife's ring and they're the exact same size. So which is it, pal?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. I love this question. Okay, if you give your wife or girlfriend a cubic zirconium ring, do you have to disclose to said wife or girlfriend that it is not a real diamond? If you're the recipient, would you expect that?
I would expect that.
They have to tell you it's not a real diamond?
Yeah.
Oh, you must be impossible. What do you think?
I don't know. I like saving money in my bank account, so I probably would lie.
Well, okay, but it's not even lying. It's do you have to disclose it?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
Because she needs to know.
Why? Isn't the present, the act of giving, isn't that the thing?
Right, but he's being deceptive if he's not telling.
He's not being deceptive. He's giving you a cubic zirconium ring.
But if he presents it as a diamond.
He's not presenting it as a diamond. He's saying, here's a ring.
One would assume it's a diamond.
Ah, women going inside the courtroom.
She just didn't like how it fit and how it looked.
Which is it? It wasn't the right size or she didn't like the quality?
It was the quality.
Okay, so why is it you say I'm requesting a full refund, it doesn't fit, like he did something wrong?
I don't know.
Okay, I will definitely be coming to you in the future for my jewelry purchasing needs. He doesn't want you. Unfortunately, this ring just didn't work out. And he responds, did you mail that back to him? Hi, our ring policy is 30 days. In spite of your mistake on the size, we gave you a new ring. And last ring we made after your approval, sorry, there's no refund. Did you send that back to him?
Yes.
Okay.
And he refused the box.
Oh.
He refused the box.
Tag, you're it. Hot potato, hot potato. It's like a hot potato.
Then what?
How? Okay, let's get to you and your claim though, because I'm fascinated. But why? Who gave me a receipt for Tiffany's for $275?
That was just to prove that my wife was a size 8, that I purchased size 8 in the past.
Oh, but you know, sometimes you're a size 8, and then sometimes you're a size 6.5. Maybe you lose a bunch of weight, you know. It doesn't matter. Why would it be appropriate to start counting from the day you get the second ring when you're the guy who asked for an 8 and you got an 8?
Your Honor, I was trying to give it to her as a surprise, so I didn't want to.
Oh, that's fine. But why does he have to eat it? Why is that fair, just, and moral that he has to eat it because you had this problem?
Because in the end, there was a 30-day money-back guarantee.
And right, I agree with you. You deserve a 30-day money-back guarantee. But how does your 30 days not start to run from the time he delivers a size 8 to you and you pick it up?
Because out of the first 30 days, he was holding on to it for about 26
I don't care
days.
what other work you had him do.
Okay.
Why would it not be fair and just? I mean, when he says that you're kind of snaky, you do behave kind of snaky. You're probably like a really nice guy who's trying to do this surprise for his wife, and then, you know, to put a placeholder. That's so cute. And then your wife is like, I don't want that now. But I don't know. I hope your wife's a nice lady, but I got to tell you, you didn't act like a nice guy in these dealings, and I'm going to order you to pay back the amount that you have to pay. Now let's talk about when you're not acting like a nice guy. And let's talk about your $2,362.32 lawsuit. How do you figure? If what you're out is $649 that he had charged back, how do you figure that mushroomed into 4 times that size? Tell me about it.
I agree with you, right?
Oh, well, don't agree with me. You filed a lawsuit for 20.
I should go for 5,000.
No, why don't you go for $1 million?
I will try it if I can.
Go for $1 million. You know, I mean, how is that right?
Okay, now see, here's the thing. Amazon is doing, let's say you are a good seller with a good rating, and you're satisfying your customer very nice and good, they will keep on advertising your product, and when they advertise, you get benefit and you get the orders and you get the business. Now, one guy goes in and says, hey, this company, Fine Jewelry World is a bad company. They didn't have A to Z claim against them. So Amazon says, wait a moment. Like as a judge, you say, stop order.
Yes, and what does Amazon do?
They stop advertising my product.
Can you prove anything you're saying? Did you bring me any records to show any of the stuff you're saying?
I mean, I didn't.
I mean that you got to prove stuff in court.
I didn't bring it. I can bring it later on if you can give me a second trial.
We're done. I'm going to order him to pay you the $649 plus your filing fee.
And a shipping fee.
And your shipping fees. Okay, so I am ruling in your favor in the amount of the $649, which is the original charge, the filing fee, plus your 2 shipping charges. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, folks.
All right, hold on right there.
And then give him back his rings and the person who gave me that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
So the plaintiff has won for some of what he sued for. Come on in here and give me your feeling on the judgment here.
I'm disappointed, but
how'd the surprise for the wife work out for you?
It's been very painful, so I think I'm just going to wait to get a real one.
All right. Head right around the corner this way. And okay, sir, come on in and tell us how you feel about this outcome.
Great.
Yeah?
And I will advise every customer, don't cheat on your wife giving the CC ring and tell them it looks like diamond. Don't cheat on them. It's completely bad.
Wives know the difference between 6.5 and 8, right?
He should know. I don't know his wife ring size.
Okay.
I never hold her hand.
All right. Harvey?
Okay, well, here's the deal. When a merchant delivers the item properly, that's when the clock starts to tick. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Gina Figueroa. She says the defendant, her former fiancé, owes her rent money. And now that they've split up, he's acting like a childish jerk. She has no other choice but to drag his sorry rear end down to court and is suing him for the $2,611 she's owed. This is the defendant, Sean Appenzeller. He says the plaintiff took his car once they broke up, and he certainly doesn't owe the woman a dime. That's right, she actually stole his car, and now has the nerve to sue him here in court? Please. He's accused of fooling around with a former fiancée.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says her former fiancé owes her rent, but the defendant says that she took his car, so they are more than even. It's the case of, I got 99 problems, but she's not one. I've been sworn you on.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, man.
Okay, Gina Figueroa, you are suing your former fiancé, Sean Appenzeller, for $2,611 in rent and electric bills that you say he owes. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, he left in September 8th.
How long had you dated?
2 years altogether.
Okay, do you have children together?
No.
Okay.
But my 2 kids were living with us.
And how old are your kids?
7 and 4.
How long had you lived together?
A year and 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah, he left in September 2012, and our lease wasn't up until March. I have a copy of the lease, Your
You
Honor.
don't dispute that, right?
No.
Okay, go on.
He did help me pay October and February's rent in the last 6 months. And as for the electric bill.
Right, but you guys, he left in September, he paid October. He didn't pay November?
November, December.
Now, according to you, you paid 2 months after you left?
Yes,
When did you leave?
in September.
Okay, so you paid September and October, that's what you mean by 2 months?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we're on the same page. And November comes and you don't, how is she gonna make the rent? And nobody thinks about this, right? Nobody thinks about if things go wrong, then what? So how did you expect her to make the rent? It's not like she could just bring anybody there, she's got kids there.
No, you're right. The agreement we had was that I was going to make the payments on the car that was in her name, that I was still driving, and made every payment from there on. If I was going to keep the car, I was going to still pay the $450. And
For the
she
car?
came, yes, for the $450 for the car, and then the half of the rent. She came up to my job and took the car, so therefore I just stopped paying the rent.
Wait. So you were gonna pay for the car, but get to keep driving it because it was under her name?
Yes,
Okay. And why didn't you have a car under your name?
because when the agreement between me and her was, it was just easier for her because the payments were less when we got
Because you
the
have bad
car.
credit.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm young.
And so she would let you keep, does she have her own car?
She did at the time.
And so when you were dating, that was a car that you would drive, that was your car,
Yes.
considered your car. All right, and then, so you said to her, let me keep the car, don't take it away from me. I'll pay for it, just like I've been paying, and then I'll also pay half the rent. That sounds like a good deal. So what happened with that?
Well, he was also going to keep the electric on, the cable on, and my cell phone on. When
When you break up with guys, do they continue paying for you for a long time? Because everyone wants to know what secret scent you have.
I let him keep the car, yes, okay? But
Why does he have to pay your cell phone bill and all this other stuff?
Because it was in his name.
What difference
I gave him money every month.
What difference does it make what's in his name? If you're breaking up.
Right, but it got shut off. Okay, my cable got shut off.
Why wouldn't you be responsible for paying that if he's no longer
I
your
gave him $200, Your Honor, to go, when we first broke up, I gave him $200 for the electric and my cell phone bill. When everything started getting shut off, I was like, where's my $200? Okay.
And he said?
What did he say?
What did you say?
The $200 was paid to the amount of the electric bill.
So all you got to do is show me where those $200 went. I'd like to see them.
I don't have any proof of that.
Okay, show me the electric bills that would show a credit or a debit or whatever else.
The electric bill, no one has made a payment on the electric bill.
Okay, but you need to have proof because you're suing for almost $1,000 in electric bills. You have the electric bills.
I have the electric bill, yes.
Okay, I want electric bills
And
all the way from September. She can't hear me if you're talking.
I'm sorry.
I want electric. Wait! Don't even take it from her. I want electric bills all the way from September when he left.
I have from October to November to January. That's what I have.
Give me what you got.
Honestly, and it's in his name, Your Honor. I can't open his mail. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you can. But go ahead, hand it over. All right. So what happens? You guys break up. Why?
I think we just had differences, and I just decided to go, back to my mother's because I was not happy with.
What were the differences?
We just disagreed on a lot of things. There were things that I wanted to do, as a 21 year old. I would like to go out and just things that she wouldn't really.
Go out with her or go out without her?
Go out golfing, anything, any of my hobbies that weren't really, it was just always arguments.
No.
What's your version of why you guys broke up?
He wanted to be with someone else, Your Honor.
A girl?
Mm-hmm. 2 weeks after we broke up, he was with her.
Oh, how do you know?
I found out via Facebook, to be honest with you.
Facebook, I love it. Say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Yeah.
What did he write?
Nothing. There was just pictures of them together. Yeah.
Now, you were particularly angry because you guys were trying to reconcile.
The thing is, there's 2 little kids involved. My 2 little kids. They loved him. Like they were his
I'm sure
father.
they do, but things didn't work out between you. That's one of the risks of bringing a man into your little kids' lives.
Correct.
Who you're not married to.
We were
It may not be
engaged, and I
stable.
thought we were happy, Your Honor. And then one week later, he's not happy. That's a crock. There was another person involved. Okay, I believe that. As with the car, as soon as stuff started getting shut off in my home, guess what? I'm gonna go take what's
but
mine.
sometimes
Honestly,
I understand, and that's fine. And so you did, but then sometimes you cut your nose off to spite your face.
Correct.
And that's kind of what you did here, because now you have the car payment, the rent payment, somebody who's unwilling to pay because you violated the agreement of letting him keep the car. And that was the agreement on when he'd pay the
But
rent.
our agreement was also, if you keep my stuff on, guess what? Then you can keep the car. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't
Well, how
like
much stuff of yours is he supposed to keep on? I'm still not understanding
well,
that part of your case.
that was his choice.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
if
don't
I had
understand.
another,
He's supposed to pay your car.
Gina, I'm going to keep everything on my name.
He's supposed to keep your cell phone bill, pay for it for the rest of life.
That's what I gave him $200 for that one
so
time.
it's
But
not
now
about
I learned
the rest
my
of
lesson.
life. It's about you want to know where the $200 went. You want to know where the so a $200 problem has blossomed into 13 times its size now and counting. I mean, because now the car payment is something else you have to eat.
I'm
it
not worried
seems
about
kind
the
of
car
silly,
payment.
right?
It's just he signed a lease. That lease isn't up. It was up March 31st, last month. Okay, his name was on that lease. He signed that lease, Your Honor. You know what I mean? And yeah, like bottom line, he
So
signed
her
that piece of
argument is
paper.
this superseding agreement that you two have shouldn't mean anything because your name's on the lease, and so you should keep paying. You weren't doing her a favor by keep paying. You were supposed to keep paying. What's your answer to that?
Well, the lease agreement was I was signing a contract with the leasing agency saying that we, as a couple, would pay $900 a month to the leasing agency. We never discussed with the leasing agency that we'd split that $450 and $450. That was never a discussion. That was just something that we did because we
both the names are on the lease. What is? I don't know what that means, but what were you doing? Splitting it. So if that's there's two different contexts that go on when you have a lease. One is the contract you have with your landlord, and the other one is the unwritten contract you have with your roommate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're like a college kid or you go to school, you're young and you work, and really everybody's fungible. You don't really care if you're living with this person or that person. It's all flop house. But when you're a woman with two kids, how old again?
7 and 4.
7 and 4. It's a little bit different. You can't just bring strangers in there. So how is she supposed to continue to pay the rent?
As for can I say something, Your Honor?
Why are you having him pay your electricity that you used up?
Because they told me that I couldn't have, well, number one, I asked them numerous amounts of times to have it shut off so I can have it put in my name. I do have those emails as well. And he never did. Now, who in their right mind leaves a utility bill in their name for 6 months?
Why wouldn't you want it in her name?
And he says he tried.
You can't shut it off without paying it?
In September, I called them and they told me that I had to pay the final bill, which is up around $400 at that point. And it was like late September, early October when I called them, and I didn't have the money to turn it off right then. So they continued to bill the electricity that she was using, and then she decided to pay it off on her own. I never told her that she had to pay that off.
So I can have it shut off and switched into my name.
Before you left?
Before I left, it was like a little over $200.
Do you know what it was before he left?
It was $485.
Can somebody prove what they're saying? This isn't that hard, folks. You're grown-ups. You're responsible for two little kids.
He told me specifically not to open his mail. It's illegal.
I guess she can't get the electric bills. You're the one who would have the electric bills.
She couldn't open it. How she paid off, it was in my name, but she couldn't make payments off.
How did you pay off the $811 if you're not allowed to pay it if it's in his name?
What was that, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
You heard me.
So if you move in with boyfriend and girlfriend, do you ever have a discussion about who gets what in case you break up?
No, because you usually assume you're going to be together forever.
Oh, please. Do you have this discussion? If you buy something big, do you have the discussion?
Absolutely.
Have you had the discussion?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Uncomfortable?
Not really. If I bought it, it's freaking mine.
Did it work out? I mean, did you end up breaking up and you took it, or what happened? I'm sorry for assuming you broke up.
Okay. No, we did break up actually, and I kept what I said I would keep.
It was just a lucky guess going inside the courtroom.
How did you pay off the $811 if you're not
When
allowed to
he came
pay
back
off
in February, Your Honor?
No, don't go somewhere else. Answer my question.
No, this is the.
No, it's not. How were you able to magically pay it off
He came
then?
back and moved
Did you
back
wear
in.
a mustache and a goatee and shave your head and walk in there?
For a month, for a week, he came and moved back in. He opened his mail and left it there. So therefore, I took it into my hands to have it switched over into my name. He left it there, Your Honor.
How does leaving it there make a difference?
Well, it was opened.
So what difference does it make that it was open? What did you glean from it open that you couldn't glean?
That I could open it and actually look at it and actually pay it. You get what I'm saying?
No, why wouldn't you just call and find out what it is and pay it?
Because it's not my name. Does that make
This is after you repossessed the car when?
October.
And then you guys got back together again in February?
I wouldn't consider getting back together, no.
Did you move back in?
No.
Did you pay for rent?
Yes, you did.
Did you pay for
paid
rent?
a month's rent.
I gave her $450. But it was because she
All
needed
his
help.
stuff was there, Your Honor. Believe me, it was all there.
I can't make him date you. You know that,
No.
right?
I don't want to date him. Trust me. I'm good. I'm good. Look at me. I'm good. Trust me. I love you.
I don't know who is that person dying to say something. Who is that?
I'm Becky. I'm her witness. But as a witness,
Are you her friend?
I live right next door. I'm one of her best friends. I'm her witness.
14 years.
And he did move back in for a week in February. I can contest to that.
He actually used her vehicle to move his stuff back in, Your Honor.
Okay, but I want you to listen to me.
I'm listening.
Go ahead, have a seat. You are far from fine. You are fine, but you are far from fine.
Okay.
I'm
extremely nervous.
I know.
And I want this
and
to be
obviously
done
there's a
over
lot of
with.
hurt here because and then the stuff that you learn later. And when you say to me, and this is something, look at me because I really want you to know this, okay? When you say to me, there's 2 children involved, you have to understand that the children are more resilient than you think they are. And I'm sure that they miss him. And judging by, you may be new at this, I'm not. I'm much older than you are. I watched this thing happen. And it could happen whether you're married or you're not married, whether you're living together or you're not living together. I watched this happen. And some people are really good about staying in touch with, the children who were in their lives, and some people are just not. And you know what? Sometimes it's better, the ones that are not, just to go. And because it's just worse for the children. And your children are little enough where that's a young age. They're kind of resilient. There'll be other figures in their lives.
There was a time where they weren't okay, but it's a different story.
Yeah. As time passes, I think it gets better. And to be honest with you, I don't think that you want every guy that you're dating for the next, I don't know how, because who knows how many guys you're going to date. You want all of them like in your lives and with your kid. You don't. At the end of the day, you're the mother. He's not. He's not. All right. But let's talk about rent and the rest of this stuff. What are you doing with the car now? Didn't you have your own car anyway that you were paying? So you're paying for 2 cars?
No, that was my sister's vehicle. She was letting me use it.
All right.
She sold it for me.
So your feeling is that when she takes the car, that you no longer have to pay rent?
She broke the agreement, so I was there for
Okay, but didn't you already have an obligation to pay rent because you were on the lease?
Yes, with the leasing agency.
Okay, so what was you call that a new contract that she broke? A contract is something where both sides give something up. What are you giving up if you already have an obligation to pay the rent because you're both on the agreement? What did she get in return?
Free electric.
Why free electric?
Because she didn't pay for it until she just paid
She had
for
to pay for it. Will you
I
people
did
think that
pay
there's
for
just
it.
a free ride everywhere? No, somebody's going to have to pay for it eventually, So, she didn't get free electric. She didn't get free electric. I have no idea where the $200 went because neither one of you bring me a bill. You're uniquely in the position of showing me the bill because these are bills that we're talking about that are in your name. So frankly, when you were getting sued for this, it would have been nice if you bothered to go online and spend less time posting pictures of your new girlfriends on Facebook and more time, just figuring out what the debts are and printing it out for me so that I could rule on the defenses that you have. When was the lease over with?
The end of March.
Okay, did you move out?
No, I still live there.
How are you paying for rent now?
On my own, Your Honor.
How are you doing it?
40 hours a week.
He admits that the bill was at least $200. I'm the electric. You have no proof of how much it was, but he helps you out by admitting that it was $200. I'm adding that to the rent, and I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $2,000. Pay the lady.
Thank you.
Hold on, please. So this case is resolved. The plaintiff gets paid. What's your feeling coming out here?
Yeah, I'm a little upset by the ruling, but I got to do what I got to do to.
What upsets you about that?
Because I don't think I owed the $450. I know I made an agreement with the leasing agency, but the agreement was the contract was with the leasing agency, not with her herself.
What about her claim that the relationship went south because you going with another woman?
That was all speculation. I mean, I did find somebody later on, but it wasn't 2 weeks after we were together.
You don't think that's what caused the breakup?
No.
No? What did then? Just her not letting you go do your hobbies?
Just not letting her be the person I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. So you're better off this way?
Yes.
Okay. All right, right around the corner this way, okay? All right, so you come on in here. There are tears in the hallway on your side of it. What's going through your mind?
I'm still extremely nervous. I'm still shaking, but...
You're more than just nervous. You're emotional.
I'm very emotional.
Yeah.
So I didn't want it to come this far. to be honest with you. But nothing was getting resolved, and there's 2 little kids involved.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I'm here. So.
Well, what are their feelings towards him? They miss him?
No.
They don't? You still have feelings for him? Him?
No.
Okay. Harvey? Okay, sad but true. The deal is that for the big stuff you buy, you really do need some kind of an understanding, unless you just want to roll the dice and walk away from it. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This is the plaintiff, Samantha Bell. She says her negligent neighbor allowed the trees on her property to die, did nothing to prevent them from falling, and one of them eventually fell on her roof. She and her son were in the house when the mammoth thing tumbled with a loud thud, and it scared them half to death. She even had squirrels running in and out of her attic. The defendant refuses to cooperate with her, so she's suing her nasty neighbor for the $5,000 it's going to cost her to make things right. This is the defendant, Diane Robinson. She says her trees are all green, alive, and well, thank you very much. Unfortunately, there was a bad storm, and one of them got caught up in a huge gust of wind and toppled. The damage to the plaintiff's house was minor. It was an act of God, and she should just make the small repair herself and go on her merry way. She's accused of not trimming.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says trees from the defendant's property fell, and one of them fell on her roof, and it caused a squirrel infestation. The defendant says the trees were all healthy, and it was an act of God. It's the case of one false move, squirrel gets it.
Samantha Bell.
Yes.
You are suing your neighbor, Diane Robinson, for $5,000, $4,500 of it to repair your roof and $500 for pain and suffering because a tree fell on your roof during a storm. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, ma'am. The defendant, Diane Robinson, owned a rental property in a vacant lot next door to my house. Well, on May the 20th, we had a storm over there where one of her trees just tumbled down into my roof, but it just didn't tumble down in the middle of the roof. It broke the crown part of my roof right there. I do have evidence.
Yeah, let me see it.
And everything of that. Also, after that, my husband came home about 10, 15 minutes after I was calling him and telling him something had happened to the house, and he seen the tree on the house as well. Well, the next day, I called Diane Robinson. She informed me that she was out of town for a couple of days, and when she got back in town, she'll come over to the property to look at the damages.
Wow.
Well, she did come over to the property to look at the damages, and she said she was going to contact her insurance company to see if her lot was insured, and she was going to get back with me. Well, it never got settled at all because...
Okay, hold on one second. She's your next door neighbor?
Well, she owned a rental property next door to me.
Right. She doesn't live there.
Right.
Okay, did you two know each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you two chat or just hi bye or?
No, ma'am. I know the defendant because a couple years ago, she had a tenant that she wanted to get rid of, and she was having problems with her. And that's when me and Ms. Robertson was beginning to talk to each other because I helped her rent a property out before.
Okay. And had the issue of these trees ever come up or no?
Yes, ma'am, they have. Ms. Diane Robinson also is aware that she do have these trees over there, but she also stated that it was too much to have them cut down.
Wait, when did the issue of the trees come up?
Well, it was always the part that I know I have to get these trees cut down. I mean, this one we was in friendly conversations and things like that. She also let my husband know, well, it's just too expensive to have these trees cut down, but this is her lot.
Okay, were these trees alive or dead?
Well, some of those trees are dead.
Okay, no, the one that fell on you.
It's dead.
It's dead now. I know that. But do you have any evidence that it was dead beforehand?
The only thing I took, Your Honor, was the pictures of what I showed you.
Did you want to testify about any conversations you had with her beforehand, or no?
No.
Are you're the husband?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Good
What's going on?
May of last year, I received a call from Miss Bell stating that it was a storm and one of her trees had fell on her house. And I was out of town at the time, and I said, so it was a storm, and I said, well, I'm sorry. I apologize for it. I said, I'm out of town. I'll be back late tonight. First thing in the morning, I'll call my insurance company. I had no problem with it because I knew I had coverage, and I protected my property, fire, and liability insurance.
Okay.
So the next morning, 8 o'clock, I went over there. I looked at the damages, and yes, a tree, part of a tree had fell on her roof. So I called
Was this a tree that was dead or alive before the storm?
It was
Did
alive.
she ever complain about dead branches on that tree or anything before the storm?
We never talked about trees.
Did you ever talk about trees at all before the storm?
No.
So if the insurance company says it's an act of God, can the judge say, I don't care what the insurance company says?
Most definitely.
Can the insurance company say, do they have the final word? Say no.
No.
Perfect. Going inside the courtroom.
When an insurance company called me back, they informed me that it was not covered because it was an act of God, and it would only cover my property if the tree would have fell on my house. She told me...
Well, that's because they don't cover trees, they cover houses. And your house is covered, but her house is not covered, and what your tree does to her house is not your fault because it's an act of God, unless there is evidence of fault. That's why I was asking all the questions that I was asking.
And then she told me...
For example, if I have a tree that I know is diseased and dead and rotting and has a rotting limb and I do nothing about it, and then in a storm the thing goes flying and breaks somebody's property, falls on somebody's car, well, okay, I knew something about it. This tree was diseased, this tree was rotting, this tree was half dead, and I should have removed it. But unless you have that kind of evidence, this is what we call an act of God. Don't you have homeowners, though?
No, ma'am. Actually, I had just lost my job prior to that, and everything was like kind of off track at the time. But in that photo right there...
Do you have a mortgage on your house?
No, my house is paid for. And, excuse me, Your Honor, in that photo right there, I have a picture where the tree is actually finna fall back down in my house where it's...
Is that the way it looks still now?
Yes, it does, ma'am.
Why is the tree still there? Why hasn't somebody at least gone up there with a chainsaw and chopped it off and taken some pieces out? What were you doing?
I did cut it off.
You know, right, yeah, it's time to get up there and move along. But these pictures, I guess these pictures were taken before he did that.
Right.
Oh, good, okay. Well, that was
already
really...
off. It's fixed.
We
Right.
fixed the
Did you
roof.
end up fixing the roof?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. How much did you end up having to pay for it?
I paid $4,500 because it broke the crown part where it broke the joists off. Then I had to go get the roof
It's awful. I mean, this is the reason why
And it
people
messed
buy
up my
insurance, you know, for big catastrophic things like this. But this is just not a situation where I can shift the blame to her. I can't. My verdict is for the defendant.
Well, an act of God is something that you ultimately have to just live with. What's your feeling about the outcome?
For one, it wasn't an act of God.
No?
She knew the trees was over there. She destroyed my property anyway, and she didn't care, and she's no good, and she ain't gonna have no good luck.
All right, come on in here. What about that?
Well, I'm just glad justice has been done. I did my part. I did try to take care of it, and it wasn't covered.
Yeah, but you have a neighbor, somebody you have to live next door to over there. No?
I don't live next, but I do have to see her every
Deal
once
with
in a while.
her, right?
but She's just a mean, evil person, because when I told her it was an act of God, she said, God, whatever. And when somebody talk about God like that, I knew it was going to be trouble. When she said that, I knew it was going to be trouble.
Okay. All right, let's go to the street, Harvey.
When your neighbor has something on their property like a tree that's precarious, write them an email. It puts them on notice. I'm telling you, it's a way of solving the problem.